Welcome back to the Koi channel. Today's the day. So the big shower is going and I've just come back from ProfiDrum with another little something to put in its place. So while I tackle the monumental job of dismantling this shower filter, let me take you back to this morning when I went to pick up my new custom biochamber. She's done.
Already?
Ready to rock and roll. We've actually just done a full-on wet test to make sure that one of the features that we've not actually mentioned yet are these internal baffles, and they are very important parts of the design. So not only do they stop the tank from coming apart, because this is holding like 850 litres, but the water is going to enter by this 2-inch inlet, and then there's a corner perforated section which we believe will let the water in mostly in that bottom third. And what the idea is behind that, because of where the baffles are positioned, the water will come down and then push up, and it will create two rolling sections, and it will just improve the retention time and sort of prevent any dead spots in the top and stop the water just coming its way through and not actually contacting the media.
Yeah.
And then gravity overflow, and we've got a little something I'll show you later in the video which is going to regulate the water level in the chamber, and yeah, overflow out back through the up pipe. So I've got a busy day ahead, so I'll see you back at my house. Oh, doggy. Hui. Thank God for that. Oh. Well, that's a shower off. 260 kilos of media in it. So that's off. Nice and tidy, ready for someone to grace my palm with some pennies. So, next job, I'm going to get the biochamber in place, get that filling up, and while that's filling up, I'm going to finish off what I started last night, which was starting to clear out the filter bunker. It's like spaghetti junction down there. So, next job, take the biochamber out, tidy up that pipework. I've got a new UV to fit in here, which I've been putting off since I think God was a boy, because it's just a nightmare. Whenever you want to change a pump or do the UV, you're literally dangling upside down, and it is one of the big reasons why I wanted that biochamber out. I had nowhere else really nice to put it, and when I was so impressed by the results that when I was doing that testing last year of the water coming just from the bio as opposed to then going through the shower, that was one of the big reasons why I thought, let's just have one massive biochamber, remove that pump on the front of the shower, use less electric. It's just a nice, clean system. So, that's coming out. Let's get it done. Get out of my pub! Get out! Oh dear, oh dear. Well, at least I know why the UV stopped working. New one going on, and it is so nice to be able to actually get in and access stuff without having to dangle upside down. So, yes, out with the old, in with the new. The bunker is complete. I've even given it a little tickle with a brush. So everything's now easy access. Demountable couplings on all the pumps. Skimmer pump has been moved to this side. I've just got a little bit of tidying up to do on the cables. So that's that done. Onto the biochamber. She's ready for a test run. So she's all piped up, 2-inch inlet pipes on. As soon as I open that ball valve, we'll be in business because the pumps were in a way waiting for me. The 4-inch gravity return is on, and sandwiched between the 4-inch gravity return and the 4-inch outlet flange is a donut. Now the idea in the donut, I wanted something to basically regulate the height of the water within the chamber. Now if that 4-inch outlet hole was just left completely open, I assume the water would probably sit just halfway up the hole. But with the perfect size restrictor, let's call it, that will make the water back up, and I've got from completely unrestricted right down to 65mm in 5mm internal diameter increments. So if I put the correct one in, I can have the water exactly where I want it. It'll just take a little bit of tinkering. So I've gone with, I think, about a 75mm for now, and I'm hoping the water's going to be about there. And the reason I don't want it too high for now is this media has literally just been sat in a floating net. It's not seeded at all, so I think it will be a little bit too semi-buoyant. It is rolling okay. So yes, we're ready for a test run. I have dosed this tank with the complete pond detox. Just chucked a couple of scoops in because I have filled it straight from the tap. So that'll just detoxify anything that's come through the tap. And I've put a little bit of K1 in just so we can get an idea of how well it's rolling. So I'm going to give it a test run. If that restrictor is too restrictive, it's going to overflow out, and I'm going to be picking up K1. Can hear it going already. Is she going to overflow? That's the question. Let's have a look at this outlet. That's absolutely sound. She's spot on. Let me get this steps. Oh, it's mint. Absolutely mint. So you can see that rolling effect that we was on about between the two sides. So the water's sort of coming up in the two middles with airlift and then dropping back down. And this K1 isn't even properly seeded yet at all. I mean, you can see it's mostly brand new media. Right, blue dye. I'm going to fire some in the drum and then we can see how well it goes around the tank and get an idea of retention time. Pond safe, by the way. Oi. So here she comes. So it's dispersing really nice across the tank. Oh yeah. Perfect. See, I'm thinking in real world terms, that pump is a 30k pump on 100%. So it's coming straight from the bottom drain to the drum, pumps on 100%, but by the time it's been around Spaghetti Junction, worked its way up to here, you've got probably 2 metre head loss. I reckon I've probably, in real world terms, only got half of that. So at that, I think it was 3.2 minutes of retention time, I expect. But yeah, that's absolutely spot on. Chuffed to bits with that. Right, I am Hank Marvin, so I'm going to chuck the rest of that K1 in this tank and I will pick this video back up when I've given this garden a proper good tidy up. We'll see how the K1's looking. See you on the morrow. Is she alive? She's alive. Well, as you can see from the leaves on the Acer and my new suntan, quite a few weeks have passed since I fitted the biochamber, but she is now absolutely rocking and it's working incredibly well. And I've done this all from doing a fishless cycle. In fact, I feel that running a fishless cycle has made this whole maturing process quicker because of how much you can load the pond up with ammonia. And there's a few really interesting things that I found out along the way. So how I did the fishless cycle, I turned off the biological chamber, so this wasn't running, the drum was off. Measured ammonia going into the pond to get me up to just over 1 milligram per litre, and it took 200 millilitres of ammonia. I did that, and then every night I would come out at bang on 6 and dose that much ammonia. And then every few nights I would do a reading at 9 o'clock at night, so 3 hours after it had gone in, to see how quickly the pond was recovering and basically how fast this filter was cycling, so I could measure and track to see how quickly it was coming to life. And there was 3 things. In fact, I'm going to put a graph there, and I'm hopeful there should be 3 steps on it to show the 3 big things that I felt made a big difference. So the first one was when I fitted this 200 unit, and that replaced my 100 unit. Now I think there's 2 reasons why that made such a big difference. One was it made the chamber turnover much more nicer and there was no stagnant bits anywhere. But 2, obviously the bacteria that lives in this media thrives on oxygen. So that was that. The second one, and this is the one that really surprised me, the filter start gel. I brought some filter start gel and I saw it on the shelf and I thought, nah, it's going to be a gimmick. But curiosity killed the cat, and I thought I'll give it a go, and I feel like that was what got the K Plus media to come to life. So I felt up until that point it was my original media really starting to thrive, but I felt like when that went in, this is just my thoughts, that's when the K Plus media started to come to life and started to seed. Then the third step is I'd been running 18 degrees, so I cranked up the boiler, and straight away the next time I tested I noticed a massive improvement. So obviously this media loves heat, oxygen and more bacteria being chucked at it. So that's where that is. The overflow, that is stayed as it is, so I've left the donut be because I feel this water level is actually perfect. But one job I have done, and it was so I've always hated the blade. This pond is clinical enough as it is without a massive stainless steel blade. So I've done away with the blade and I've converted it to, it's 4-inch going down to it, and then it converts to a 3-inch gravity return, putting a really nice flow at the back of this end of this pond, improving that circular motion, making the skimmer more effective, and it's given the pond a much nicer look. So that's how it's currently set up. All the water coming through the bottom drain, through the drum, pumped up to the biological chamber, and then fed back down this back end of the pond, creating that nice circular motion. Now, because I'm now a daddy, there's potential that next year I'm going to actually have to build up the level of this pond, possibly add some windows, and I've got another little idea. And if I do, this is now ready for it, because if I'd have still had the shower, well, the water would have fallen out, or I would have had to have had the shower about 10 foot in the air, which wouldn't have looked very pretty. So it's ready for it. I'm going to create a graphic, in fact. So that's how it will work levels wise. and it might give you food for thought. If you're thinking, oh, I want a bigger biochamber, well, and you got like a limited footprint, well, you could use your same footprint, make the biological chamber twice as high, have twice as much media in it, feed your fish twice as much food, they might get a little bit bigger. So, that's that. Before I end the video, I've got something really important to tell you. This week, I've been up to Kev Green's house to do a video of his pond, and we have got out his absolutely colossal Macassiogon. I'm not going to ruin the video by telling you how big it was, but if you are one of those people, and there's many, that watch these videos and never press the subscribe button, do it, because it's a video you definitely don't want to miss. And if you're one of the people that didn't see the video of this being made at ProfiDrum HQ, I'm going to leave that video up there. There's another video down there. Subscribe button will be here somewhere. Take care. Be seeing you at the koi show.